I want you to just picture a scene for a second. A European villa, maybe, midday sun.
Okay.
There's a woman at a table. She looks distressed. A man's across from her. And you write down the dialogue. She says, "These trees will turn yellow in a month."
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "But they'll be green again next summer." Now, in the past, and by past I mean literally last month.
Yeah, the effect.
If you fed that into an AI, you'd get one continuous, probably pretty awkward shot. The camera might just float around. The faces, they probably blur.
You'd feel like surveillance camera footage of a soap opera.
Exactly. But something changed this week.
Right.
With Kling 3.0, you hit generate on that same prompt, and the model doesn't just render pixels anymore. It decides to start with a wide shot to set the scene. Then, right when the woman speaks, it cuts. A hard cut to a close-up on her face. Then it cuts to the man for his reaction. It's making editorial decisions.
And that's the moment. That right there is the signal that clip generation is dead.
And actual direction has arrived.
It's not just rendering.
Yeah.
It's filmmaking.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. It is Thursday, February 5th, 2026. We are looking at Kling 3.0. And I really want to slow down and just process what this update means, because it really feels like we've crossed some kind of threshold.
We definitely have. For the last year, we've been drowning in what I call tech demos.
Right.
Cool astronauts, melting clocks, cars on fire. It's great for a tweet, but it's totally useless for a movie.
It all felt very experimental, like a toy.
It was a toy. But Kling 3.0 has officially replaced 2.6. And the headline isn't just better graphics, it's a fundamental shift in the architecture. We're moving from a system that generates footage to a system that generates scenes.
And that distinction is everything.
It matters a lot.
It really does. So let's map this out for a bit.
Yeah.
We need to talk about this unified multimodal architecture, which it sounds like marketing speak, but it's actually really important.
It is.
We have to get into the multi-shot feature, which is that AI director we were just talking about. And we've got to discuss consistency, how they finally stopped faces from melting into sludge.
The sludge is gone, thankfully.
And then finally, we have to see where this all fits next to Sora and Runway, because that whole landscape is getting very, very crowded.
It is.
But let's start with the engine, the Unified Multimodal Architecture.
Yeah. So in the old days, and again, we mean like 6 months ago.
Right, the old days.
We had this Frankenstein workflow. It was a nightmare.
Oh, it was awful. You'd use one model for the video, then you'd have to drag that into a totally separate tool for the audio, and then maybe another one to upscale it.
It felt like you were gluing together pieces from different puzzles.
It
It was so disjointed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because the models themselves were disjointed. The video brain didn't talk to the audio brain.
Mm.
But Kling 3.0 is a native, unified system. Think of it like the human brain. When you dream, you don't do other visuals, then pause to dream the sound, and then edit them in your head.
It all happens at once. It's simultaneous.
Exactly. It's one experience. And Kling 3.0 is finally trying to dream the video natively, all at once. That's why the sync is so good, because the audio isn't just reacting to the video. They're being born at the exact same instant from the same data.
So because it's one system, it's just more efficient.
So much more efficient. And that efficiency buys us the one thing we've all been desperate for: time. We're jumping from those frantic, 5-second clips to full 15-second continuous scenes.
Okay, let's pause on that. 15 seconds. To someone just scrolling TikTok, adding 10 seconds probably sounds trivial. Why is that such a heavy lift, technically? Why couldn't we just do that before?
It's the memory drift problem. Imagine you're trying to draw a comic strip, frame by frame, but by the time you get to panel 3, you've completely forgotten what the main character's nose looks like.
Right.
The old models had a very short attention span.
Mm-hmm.
After 5 seconds of generating video, which is a huge amount of data, the model would just forget the starting conditions.
And everything would warp.
The background would warp, the shirt color changes. It gets chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
Extending that coherence out to 15 seconds required a massive architectural overhaul.
And creatively, that extra time changes the entire medium. 5 seconds is basically a GIF. It's a reaction, a loop. You can't really tell a story in 5 seconds.
No, you can't. You can't have a character, say, walk into a room, hesitate for a second, realize they're in the wrong place, and then turn around. That takes time.
Yeah.
With 15 seconds, you have room to breathe. Characters can finish an action. They can have a dialogue exchange that actually feels human, not rushed.
So, does adding 10 seconds really change the fundamental nature of the video?
It shifts the output from just a fleeting moving image to a narratively complete scene.
A narratively complete scene. Okay, that's a perfect segue to the multi-shot feature, because this is where the AI stops being a tool and starts acting like a collaborator.
Or a boss, maybe.
Or a boss, yeah. Let's go back to that European villa prompt. The user didn't ask for any cuts. They didn't say cut to camera B at 4 seconds. They just described the emotional flow. She speaks, he replies.
And Kling 3.0 just understands that in the language of cinema, from the millions of movies and its training data, when someone speaks, we usually want to see them.
Right.
So it automatically creates that shot, reverse shot. It plans the sequence for you.
But I have to play devil's advocate here for a second. If I'm a creator and I type a prompt, don't I want control? If the AI is deciding to cut, isn't it kind of overriding my artistic intent? What if I wanted a long, uncomfortable, continuous take?
That's the tension, right? But think of it this way. You are trading micromanagement for high-level direction.
Okay.
Unless you tell it otherwise. The AI assumes you want standard cinematic grammar. And it's freeing for a writer. You can just focus on the story, the dialogue, the mood, and let the model handle the technical stitching.
So I become the showrunner and the AI is the episode director.
Precisely. You're not the editor anymore, frame bashing in Premiere. You're the producer saying, make this scene feel sad, and the AI executes the technicalities of sadness, which includes the pacing and the cutting.
That is such a wild shift in agency. But it only works if the characters look the same across those cuts. Which brings us to the melting problem.
The dreaded drift.
Anyone who's used 2.6 knows this. You generate a cool character in shot 1. By shot 3, they look like their cousin. By shot 5, their face starts doing that weird, melting candle thing.
Yeah.
It breaks the immersion immediately.
Oh, it pulls you right out of the story. It's the uncanny valley at its absolute worst.
Yeah.
But Kling 3.0 has attacked this with something called video element references.
I read about this. It's basically like giving the AI a reference sheet, right?
It's more than a sheet. It's like a memory bank. Instead of just describing your character with text and, hoping the random noise gets it right twice, you upload a 3 to 8 second video clip of that character.
So not just a photo, it actually sees how they move.
That's the key. It captures the 3D structure of their face in motion. It locks that data in. So when you go to generate a new scene, the AI says, okay, I know this entity, and it preserves the structure. No more melting hands, no more changing jawlines.
That is crucial for any kind of serialization. If you want to make a web series, you need the same actor to show up in episode 2.
It's the difference between a random generation and a cast member. And this ties directly into the audio character binding feature.
Which is fascinating. I saw that example of the cafe scene. An English man and a French woman having a bilingual conversation.
Right. And in the prompt, you use these tags. You say, an English man says this and French woman says that.
And it handles the lip sync for both languages in the same shot.
Flawlessly.
Yeah.
And because of that unified architecture we talked about, the lips aren't just flapping over a static image. The facial muscles are actually moving correctly for French phonetics versus English phonetics.
That is. Wow. It's approaching reality. It sounds like this removes the uncanniness, but does it feel human?
By binding the voice and the visuals so tightly, it bridges that gap between just a simulation and a believable performance.
A believable performance. It's exciting, but also, a little terrifying for actors.
Just a little bit.
Speaking of things that need to be reliable.
Okay, we're back.
So we've talked about the automation, the AI directing the cuts, the AI syncing the lips. But there's a subset of our listeners, and I definitely count myself among them, who are control freaks.
The pixel peepers, yeah.
Exactly. I don't always want the AI to decide when to cut. Sometimes I have a very specific vision in my head. And Kling 3.0 has a response to that with the Omni architecture's storyboard mode.
This is the power user feature. This is for when you want to be the director and the cinematographer. In storyboard mode, you can define every single shot before you hit generate. You set the duration, the framing, the camera motion, everything.
So I can say shot 1, 4 seconds, wide angle, slow zoom in. Shot 2, 3 seconds, close up, static.
Yes. There was a great example in the release notes. It was a Chinese period drama scene. The prompt was oddly specific. It was, who can bully my obedient adult?
Who can bully my obedient adult? I feel like we're missing some context there.
It's definitely a genre trope.
A little bit bad.
But look at the camera direction. The user specified a crash zoom. So the camera rushes forward, it cuts past the main character to land right on an elderly onlooker's astonished eyes.
That's a very aggressive cinematic choice.
It is. And the AI executed it perfectly because the user controlled all the camera movement parameters. But And this is a big, but just because you can do a crash zoom doesn't mean you should.
The documentation actually had a whole section on what actually improves cinematic results. It felt like a mini film school lesson.
It was. And the biggest tip, composition first, effects second.
Stop trying to make the camera do backflips.
Exactly. The AI creates much higher fidelity images when the movement is purposeful. A slow dolly, a gentle orbit. When you ask for a fast spin while the character runs and the building explodes, you're just introducing way too much noise. The AI gets confused, and the result looks like a video game glitch.
The rule of one action per shot.
One clear subject, one clear movement. Simplicity wins.
So does the tool really require a filmmaker's eye to be used effectively?
You need to think like a photographer, not just a prompt engineer. You have to understand framing.
Which is a skill I think a lot of people are going to have to learn very, very quickly.
Okay, we have to look at the context now. Kling isn't operating in a vacuum. We've got OpenAI Sora, we've got Runway, Pika, Vidu. It's a battle royale out there.
It's getting so crowded.
So where does Kling 3.0 fit in all this? Is it the best at everything?
No, and I don't think any single model will be. They're all carving out their own niches. Let's look at Sora 2.
The heavyweight, Sora, is still the king of physics. If you need a simulation of water crashing into a lighthouse or a glass shattering on a floor, Sora just understands the physical world better. It simulates gravity and fluid dynamics in a way that Kling doesn't quite match yet.
Okay, so Sora for simulation. What about Runway Gen-3?
Runway is the tool for those control freaks we mentioned. I think Runway still holds the crown for granular control. If I need to change the color of a car in the background without altering the lighting on the protagonist's face, Runway's brush tools and local in-painting are still superior.
Runway lets you be a surgeon.
Exactly. Kling is painting with a broader brush. It wants to give you the whole scene, whereas Runway lets you surgically alter individual pixels.
And Pika and Vidu, where do they fit?
Pika is for speed and social media effects. It's flashy. And Vidu 2 has really cornered the market on Asian aesthetics and anime styles. It just handles those textures better than anyone.
So where does that leave Kling?
Kling 3.0 is the production tool. That's its whole identity. It wins on the workflow. If you want to create a raw clip to edit later, maybe you use Runway. But if you want to generate an edited sequence, a scene that tells a story right out of the box with dialogue and cuts.
That's Kling's territory.
That's Kling's territory. It's not just generating footage, it's generating cinema.
So is there even a clear winner here at this point?
It's specialized now. Use Kling when you need to tell a story with cuts and dialogue. Use the others for VFX shots.
It's about picking the right hammer for the right nail.
Precisely.
Let's zoom out then. We started this whole conversation with the idea that the tech demo era is over. We saw Kling 2.6, a noble effort, but it was flawed. Good visuals, short clips, the drifting faces.
It got us interested. It was a proof of concept.
And now we have 3.0, a unified system, 15-second scenes, an AI that understands film editing logic.
The moment of wonder for me isn't just the visual quality. It's the integration. It's the ability to write a prompt that contains complex emotions, like, are you always this hopeful? And have the machine act as the cinematographer, the sound engineer, the casting director, and the editor, all in one pass.
It's the convergence of all of it.
It's reliable enough now for agencies and creators to actually build businesses on, and that's the real shift. It's no longer just look what I made, it's look what I sold.
So if you're listening to this and you have access, I think it's rolling out to Ultra subscribers first.
That's right. Paying members get the first bite.
Don't wait. Start testing those multi-shot features. Push the duration to 15 seconds. Try the character binding. The barrier to professional storytelling has basically just collapsed. You don't need $1 million budget. You just need a good idea and the ability to describe it.
The production era of AI video is here. The real question is, what are you going to make with it?
That is the question. And here's a final thought to leave you with. If the AI can now direct the scene, edit the scene, and act the scene, and it's trained on all of human cinema, how long until we stop asking, how do we make this look real, and we start asking, whose directorial style is this AI actually mimicking?
Ooh, that is a can of worms. Are we getting a Spielberg cut or a Kubrick cut?
Exactly. Something to mull over.
Thanks for diving in with us.
Always a pleasure.
We'll see you in the next one.